Alright, YouTube. I'm back with another video. Just doing a quick scan through of my LaunchBox 8TB drive. So this has a lot of consoles on it, a lot of handhelds, um, pinballs, arcade stuff. So I'm gonna start up here at the top. We're gonna look at the arcade. Now what I like about this, it does a bunch of different categories. It's like you can even go up here and type in, well not type in, but search like what types of games you want to play. So like if I wanted to find a 4-player game, I could find that. 2-player game, region or a certain genre, I can do that up here. Or if I wanted to search like certain titles, like say we do Double Dragon. I go to all up here, that's gonna pop up all these different Double Dragons. Majority of them have artwork, some don't, some of them are duplicates. But yeah, you can scan through all these different Double Dragons. Or if you want to do Castlevania, something like that. Man, I gotta find another place to record in peace. But yeah, so we close that out. Go back down here to arcade. So I can click on Mame, scan through the different Mame titles. What I do need to do is get a light gun, 2 light guns preferably, so I can play some of these light gun games. See, like right here, you got Killer Instinct. Click on that. It's gonna have a little bit of information on the side, Wikipedia information, community ratings, screenshots. Now I do have a hyperspin drive from a long time ago, probably like a hyperspin drive from like 2011 or 2010. I didn't like I'm not gonna say didn't like, but when I found out about LaunchBox, this was more appealing to me because this is more of a like Netflix type of layout. So I feel like I could play more games with enjoy more games with LaunchBox because when you're on Hyperspin, you know, you turn it on, then you have all the like distracting type of videos in the background, and you got to scroll through. You got to constantly scroll through those wheels, and it was just hard to find a game. And I know like future, I like the version of Hyperspin I have is kind of old, but I know you could the future updates would allow you like to search certain games and stuff like that. But I feel like this is more compact and easy to get to. So like I can go to SNK, Neo Geo stuff up here, Art of War, King of Fighters, stuff like that. Fatal Fury, Real Bouts, Grudo, Mark of Wolves, one of my favorites. King of Fighters 94. All right. So yeah, so that's it with the main. Then we're gonna go to computer system generations. Start up here with Apple. Oh, Alf. Who remembers Alf? Uh, Alice in Wonderland. A lot of this stuff is not before my time, but out of my budget as a kid to explore. So it's good to like go back and you know experience some of these things that I couldn't afford to get. But a lot of the stuff I do have physical copies of. All right, this is Apple II. I'm gonna assume this is a different engine, Apple II GS. I'll probably make a separate video going through the more obscure things. All right, so yeah, Flash games. I don't know what that is. different Flash games. Microsoft. Alright, so we can get up out of there. Handhelds. Now this is more of my speed, Atari Lynx. I did have one of these. I still have a lot of games for it, but the actual system, I want to say I traded it in or something like that, or a trading post as a kid to buy another system. Can't remember which system it was. I used it. The local trading post we have, it's still up to this day. That I don't live in the town no more, but when I do go back and visit my hometown, I go to the trading post and they still have a lot of, like, they used to give you good deals on stuff. They, none of that, oh, we're gonna give you $8 for this game that just came out 2 months ago. They usually work with you. They'll give you, like, say if a game costs $50 back then, they're getting you, like, they're trying to give you $30 if it's a sought after game. All right, so now we got the 3DS. Sorry about that. Phone's ringing. Alright, don't want to show too much Nintendo stuff. Then we got the Sega Game Gear. This is another thing that I'm very familiar with. I still have my Game Gear. Still have, I want to say, I probably have like 25% of the Game Gear catalog. Because once people stopped, being interested in it, you could just find, Game Gear stuff everywhere for cheap. So by that time, I had my little, summer job things going on, and we had like programs in the school where we could get a job to get credit for school. So had a bit of cash flow coming in. So I started collecting like NES and Game Gear stuff, and uh, and also Genesis stuff. All right. So SNK Neo Geo Pocket Color. This game is everywhere. Bust a Move. PSP from Russia with Love. All right. I will probably gonna do like separate videos of like reviews, like these pinball games. Some of that stuff that's for older people to like appreciate, because I know it's like well before a lot of people's time who's scanning through this stuff. It's like you can search stuff by genres. That's like a easier way to search it up. So like you can click on beat 'em ups. It's gonna show you beat 'em ups from all the different consoles and handhelds and stuff like that. And another thing too is this has a macro set up to where it'll auto map a lot of controllers already for you with X input. It's like especially the Xbox 360 controllers, which is one of the most used controllers I'd say for PC. You plug that in before you launch this up, it's gonna automatically map your controller. So you're gonna open it up. You're not gonna have to map your controller. It's pretty much plug and play. Board and card games, classics. And this is more of my speed right here. Fighting is I want to say my favorite genre of games. So I spend the majority of my time, once Super Turbo 2 came out, that's pretty much been, so like if there were like a top 3 games coming out, say if like Resident Evil 2 came out, Resident Evil 2 would be the main game I would be playing, and then in the top 3 would always be some type of Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, King of Fighters, Fatal Fury, Bushido Blade, those types of games. That would be what I would. Though a fighting game is always in the mix when I'm gaming. It's like I'm always consistently playing a fighting game. But like if a good adventure game comes out, like a Breath of the Wild or something like that, that'll be my number one game. But the fighting games will always be in like the top three of what I consistently always play. Bloody Roar, that's a very underrated game in my opinion. Then Paws of Fury, this is this kind of goofy stuff. I guess good stuff to go back and look at. Capcom versus SNK is classic. The Dreamcast is without a doubt my favorite system. I remember wanting a Dreamcast so bad, and then I ended up getting it. It was one of the only systems I got at like close to launch. How you open the door? Clay Fighters. Clay Fighters is another, like I'd say, not joke title, because when you've seen the animation for it and the commercials growing up, it looked like it was taking itself serious. But for what it is, it's an alright game. All right, flying. So the only flying games I'm probably into is Super Thunderblade was one of my favorite games on the Genesis. So other than that, I don't have that much experience with them. But I would suggest if you're gonna get like these flying games, especially the more up to date ones, that you do get that I can't remember what it's called, but that little handheld flying stick. I'm pretty sure that'll enhance the experience with it. Horror games. Now this is my stuff right here too, outside of fighting games. Vampire Hunter D. I want to tell everybody that we probably need to do some petitions to get them to make another Vampire Hunter D game, because this one, Vampire Hunter D, is like what Devil May Vampire Hunter D should have been what Devil May Cry is. It's basically before Devil May Cry even came out. If you watch the Vampire Hunter D movie from the 80s, and if you watch the Vampire Hunter D, if you read the Vampire Hunter D novels, it's basically Devil May Cry. Um, like especially like when you watch the movie, you don't know if it's like futuristic or or stuff from the the past. It's like a mix of like cyberpunk and Devil May Cry. Not the Vampire Hunter D 2000 movie, but the one from the 80s. I would suggest searching that movie. I believe they have a copy on YouTube that you can watch it for free. But very good movie. Like I'm not heavy into anime. Like I didn't even know what anime was when I used to see Vampire Hunter D coming on TV. But I would suggest checking that out, especially if you're into anime. All right, so then the light gun games. This is just teasing me because I don't have a light gun yet. I'm probably gonna buy a light gun next month and gonna do a couple streaming videos of me setting it up and playing it. Man, I wonder what this is about. Ah, shoot. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to check this out. Carnival. This came out in 1998. How did I miss this? Man, I guess it came out in arcades. Arcades were kind of dwindling towards the late 90s. Motor games. Now, this is my stuff too, because I was heavy into X games in the 90s. Too Extreme. I used to play this for hours and hours on the PS1. When I say hours and hours, I'm talking about like 6, 7 hours a day. And that's a lot of hours back then when you was a kid and you had to get up and go to school in the morning. So yeah, I'm still, from out of muscle memory alone, I'm still pretty good at this game. All right. So one underrated thing that I like about this 8 terabyte drive is you don't just have games on there. You also have, let me look. See if I can find it. Give me a little minute. You also have video game, magazine, and comics. Now, this is what I'm talking about right here. So you got all these different, comics and magazines. You can search through them by genre. Electronic gaming magazines from back in the day. This is the cream of the crop right here. This is what's this is the hidden gem, I feel, because the chances of somebody being able to collect even 20% of this stuff is just slim. So what I like to do with this, I know a lot of people's like, man, you just don't have enough time to play this stuff, or blah blah blah. This is true, but what I found out is I pick like a day or two to like, hey, pick a magazine and read it all the way through. Just sit back and scan through it, or like pick a day for like I have an old school like gaming day where I don't play nothing that was made past like 2004 or probably 2000. So 2000 on back, that's what I'm playing. And then I have like a mid-year gaming day where I'm playing stuff from 2012 or 2010 to like 2002. That's how I get through playing a lot of this stuff. You know, if it's an adventure game, more than likely I'm not gonna get all the way through it, depending on how long it is. But I'll do, I'll just test a few games out, and then I'll be like, all right, if I like it and I want to come back to it, I'll bookmark it, and then play it with the family. Because that's mainly what this is for. It's not just for me to enjoy; it's also for the family to enjoy. So when the kids load up their computer, they have this same drive on there. They open it up, and they get to experience. They even read through these magazines. Some of them, they get to experience all these cool games and stuff like that. Because it's just as these games are quality wise just as good as what's coming out nowadays. It's I'm not really a graphics type of person. I'm more of a gameplay type of person. So I don't have a problem with like enjoying like an older game that I've never played before, that I don't have nostalgia for. Like I'm gonna show you a hidden gem in here in a minute. Electronic gaming monthly. Street Fighters all over the place. Yeah, man, it doesn't get no better than this. These magazines, like the artwork in this stuff, the articles that was written back then, retro gaming. But yeah, you're gonna find a lot of hidden gems if you can find this drive out there. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I'm gonna do a lot more other videos about this drive, because it's a lot of stuff to unpack in these collections. But thanks to everybody for checking out the video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and also subscribe to my Twitch channel, which is OzoneBX. Thanks. Peace out.